Hey, YouTube person, Rick again. Just wanted to do another one. Today's May 19th, 2019, and it's the 20th anniversary of my father's passing. And yeah, it's been 20 years. I still miss the guy. Started smoking cigars because of him, kind of as an homage. I can't light up a cigar without thinking about him. Said before that he was a Swisher Sweet guy. I don't know of him ever to have smoked anything else. And I know when he was a kid he did cigarettes, but long before me, we got some pictures of him. Oh, good, it's starting to rain. Got some pictures of him, with the ducktail and the pack rolled up in the sleeve. He was a hood, and yeah. 20 years ago, I went out to do some electrical work out at their farm, and he wasn't there, and I just went ahead and went to work, and it's got some acreage. It could have been anywhere or over at neighbors or any place, and my mom called. And I answered it. She said, well, is your dad there? I said, no. Well, he should be. And I said, okay. And I went and I looked around, and he was laying on the ground out by his tractor. And he had died while putting oil in the tractor. The oil was right between his feet, and he was laying flat on his back. I mean, he died instantly in the air and didn't even kick up the dirt. So apparently he had been within a half an hour before me getting there. He had been at a restaurant getting some lunch, and so he may have even been alive as I was pulling in. I'll never know. And oh man, now it's raining. Sky is crying for my father. So yeah, I was not done with that man yet. I still got a lot of questions. Now I'm only 2 years younger than he was when he passed, and my book is going to get destroyed out here. He was a good guy. Oklahoma farm boy, grew up picking cotton, and his family moved here when he was 13, and kid made a lot of bad decisions. He had a football scholarship, but he didn't go because it was too far away from his girlfriend, and his girlfriend dumped him because he was too stupid to go to college for free. Smart guy. He wrote poetry, and turned his life around. He educated himself, and at his funeral there were doctors and lawyers and judges who he worked with, all there paying their respects, and that was good. He was a good guy. To my knowledge, he never lied. Very straightforward, country boy. He had a lot of obstacles, like most of us do. Had a lot of obstacles to overcome. His given name was Bobby. Oklahoma way, Bobby DeWine, and not Robert, not Bob, Bobby, and yeah, uh, I never met anybody that didn't respect him, and people that didn't like him. Oh, here it comes. Can you hear it? I don't care. I rode in it all day yesterday. Got my book under my shirt. It'll be fine. Cigar probably won't go out. You watched my other video today. I rode in the rain yesterday. Got hailed on. Got beat to a pulp. That was a great day. But yeah. I thought about them today. I stopped at the Buy Mart to get my mom a card. Thinking of you card, and they had those old gums. You remember those packs of gum? They had clove and blackjack and Beeman's, and they had those on sale. There's something they only have. Well, you could have brought me one of the cool hats, but thank you. This one, my mom brought this one back from Peru. She went to Peru, went to Machu Picchu and all that, brought me back a leather hat. Pretty cool. Little small. Oh, that's pretty good. And anyway, those were gums he always had. That and Big Red. And he always carried those Atomic Fireballs, the little super hot cinnamon jawbreakers, and the little packages of Planters salted peanuts in his truck. His whole dashboard was covered with them, and that's what he'd give my kids when they were with him. But nobody carries Atomic Fireballs anymore, and they didn't even have the little packs of peanuts. So I got 20 packs of the blackjack and clove in his memory today, and gave them to my kids. They're like, "What?" Because they've been gone. He's been gone a long time in their lives. My kids used to love going out to his farm and riding the tractors and stuff. And I think by the time my kids came along, we didn't have. They just rented out their pasture. They didn't have horses and stuff like that anymore that were theirs to ride. But yeah, I had a horse out there for many years. And that's how my wife and I met. Was she worked with Dad, and he called me one day and says, "Yeah, I work with this girl, and you need to meet her." And he had told her that if he had a daughter-in-law, he wanted it to be her. So we met and we got married. Kind of had to, Dad was so committed to it. And that's how I met her. She came out and rode horses with us. And then she came out again, and she got thrown. And like full gallop, thrown in the gravel, tore up her head and stuff. And she went out and got back on that old beast. It was Dad's horse, and it was a real fractious animal. He'd bought it from people who had allowed it to get spoiled. It had act up, and they'd put it back in the barn. So it was lazy. And but yeah, I got him to thank and blame for a lot of things, I guess. So yeah, he was a good guy. He wasn't always. He used to be kind of a jerk. And when my next younger brother, the one that is just younger than me, he got cancer when he was 23, and my dad used to go over every morning, and they spent a lot of time. They never really got on very well, but they got it worked out, And Dad had Randy. When you're terminal, you don't have to watch people's feelings if you don't want to. And he pretty much told my dad everything that was wrong with him. And Dad changed. After Randy passed away, Dad became just an awesome, loving guy. And And that's, you know, we had that for 10 years. He lived 10 years after my brother passed. And so my brother's been gone 30 years. It's crazy. But, you know, I do miss Dad. I had a lot of questions. My life's changed a lot in 20 years, and I'd really have liked his take on some of it. And, you know, I guess that's part of growing up. Only mentor I ever had, really, and most of it is just memory. You know, what would Dad do? What would Dad say? He always kept. He wore those double pocket plaid shirts all the time, Western shirts, and he always, in his left upper pocket, always kept a bunch of bills folded up in his pocket so he could give them away. And you know, people always ask me, because a lot of times we'll go out to eat with friends, and they won't see how it is that I picked up the tab. When did you do that? How did you, man, competing with my dad to pick up the tab? You know, I knew I was a man when I could pick up the tab, and learned a lot from him, and how to treat people. He treated people pretty good, and ouch. I'd just love to be half the man that he was, and always have tried for his approval. And my screen is completely covered with rain. I don't know what that picture is going to look like. I'll see it in a little bit. But anyway, if you have a father, don't let him slip away without telling him how you feel about him. And one thing I'll always appreciate about my wife is she lost her father at a very, very young age. And when she would come around, she couldn't believe that my dad and I and my brothers, we didn't hug, or, you know, closest we got was like a hand on the shoulder, and she actually made us hug each other and tell each other we loved each other. And I'll always be thankful to her for that, because we probably never would have. And I'm much more expressive with my sons than he and I ever were until that point. So anyway, this reminds me of yesterday. I was smoking a cigar, and it was raining so hard that the cigar got soggy, and it was just like in the old movies when it's drooping and everything. And that was funny. But if you have your dad, give him a call, tell him you love him. Don't wait till Father's Day. And by God, on Father's Day, don't skip it. So, and if your dad's gone, I'm sorry about that. God bless. Carson right there.